Welcome back, dear students. We have started with the chapter coordination compounds. In coordination compounds, in the beginning, in the introductory part, we have seen regarding coordinate bond. Okay, so how does coordinate bond is present in coordination compounds, and what are the other things we have to learn in this one, particularly regarding double salts and complex salts. We have quoted some of the examples for double salts. We have covered complex salts. We generally discussed regarding double salts are generally ionizable. They are completely dissolved into the water when they are added into the water, and as that of complex ions which are bind due to coordinate bond does not completely dissolve into the water. All those things we have discussed, and some of the important central metal ions which are present in chlorophyll, hemoglobin, as well as in case of other important central metal ions which are present, we have discussed them also, like vitamin B12. Okay, B12 generally composed of different central metal ions. We also have discussed regarding central metal ions which are present in coordination compounds are mainly taken from the D block elements due to their transition property. Transition in the sense what? The properties exhibited by S block elements as well as P block elements are going to be exhibited by D block elements also. So the reason why we will be calling these as transition elements. Transition elements generally possesses coloring property. In this chapter in detail we will be learning regarding the coloring property of the compounds. So all the coloring property as well as the mechanism involved particularly in coordination compounds was well explained by the scientist Werner's. So we need to understand what exactly Werner's theory tells. Okay, so let us start with Werner's theory of coordination compounds. He has given certain postulates. We have to understand what are those postulates. When you consider postulates for Werner's theory, very first he explained regarding the valency. Yesterday also I have discussed regarding the valency, that it is a kind of combining capacity of an atom or an element to obtain octet. In order to get the octet, it may lose the electron, it may gain the electron, or it may also share the electrons. That is going to be referred as valency. When you consider coordination compounds, there are mainly of two types valency we have to understand. So let us start with the valency, that is a combining capacity of an element to obtain the octet. Here, valency for coordination compounds exclusively, if you consider, according to Werner's, there are mainly two types of valencies as are present. So, very first valency I could consider, it is primary valency. Primary valency will be represented as like this also. Also, we have secondary valency. Okay. Secondary valency is going to be represented as like this also. Now let us understand what is the main difference between two and why those two are important. So there will be a presence of two valencies. One is primary valency and secondary valency in the coordination compound is the first postulate given by scientist Werner. So let us understand the second postulate of Werner's theory. He told that primary valency which is present in the coordination compound is ionizable, whereas the secondary valency of the coordination compound is non-ionizable. The terms let us understand. I will tell you in detail regarding that one. Let me first write here. Primary valency is, directly I will write like this. Primary valency is ionizable. Valency is ionizable. Okay. Whereas secondary valency is non-ionizable. Secondary valency is non-ionizable. Okay. So now let us understand first what do you mean by primary valency and what do you mean by secondary valency. Okay. In order to understand that one, we must have to have an example for coordination complex or coordination compound. At a stretch, all these things cannot be going their head one by one. Little things let us understand in deeper part. When we move to the chapter, we will understand each and everything in detail. But be with me. Till I explain each and every part, in the beginning it will be, you may feel it a bit tough. When we move with a certain examples and the depth of the part, we will understand everything clearly. Now let me write one example. I had taken the same example, K4 FeCN6. Okay, K4 FeCN6. So here it is said to be CN is cyanide group. I explained the terms regarding the ligands, central metal ion or central metal atom, and also I have explained regarding the counter ions. Here, whatever the atoms which are present outside this bracket, we have some of the terminologies regarding these coordination compounds. These are brackets are said to be coordination entities. Bracket is in total with the compound is it is said to be coordination sphere. We will understand those terminologies later. Let us first complete the Werner's theories postulates. So when you consider K4FeCN6, these are said to be counter ions. Counter ions will always present outside the bracket. These are said to be counter ions. Okay, counter ions will be always present outside the bracket. Now, these counter ions definitely are going to be considered as primary valency. What is primary valency? Counter ions which are present outside the bracket are considered as primary valency. Okay, and we also have certain other elements inside the bracket which are main core for coordination entity. I'll let you know those things later, but just now understand whatever the element, whatever the ligands, we can call these as ligands because they will be donating electrons to the central metal atom. That also I will explain you later. But till then, you remember these are said to be secondary valency. Secondary valency will be present inside the bracket. Okay, so this is said to be secondary valency. The second postulate which was given by Werner's theory is primary valency is ionizable and secondary valency is non-ionizable. When you consider these primary valency whole together, if this compound is being added into the water, these are going to make two types of ions. So one is going to be formed as a positive ion. This is positively charged. K plus 4 it will become, and similarly it is going to show charge on this complex ion Cn6 minus. Okay, this is K plus, this is minus 4. So like this, two ions are formed. This is said to be complex ion and it is said to be K plus ion. When you just add this coordination compound into the water, it has given us two parts wherein only dissociation of outer, that is counter ions, is going to take place, where they are called as primary valency. Here also see primary valency is ionizable. It gets dissociates into its next ions, that is it is going to lose its it is going to lose its identity in the water after dissolving in it. So primary valency which is present outside the bracket is going to be ionized in water, whereas secondary valency which are present in the form of ligands are not going to be ionized in the water and they remain or they retain their identity even after dissolving. This is all about the primary valency and secondary valency term was given by Werner's. So with this we have to understand some more points that whatever the entities or the central metal atom or the ions which are written here, these ions or complex ions I can say along with the ligands generally possesses negative or neutral charge. The ligands which we consider here, which are donating in nature of donating electrons to the central metal atom, together it is said to be negatively charged or neutral. But the thing is, counter ions which are primary valency always positively charged. This point is considered as third postulate for Werner's theory. So now let me write third part. The counter ions are primary valency always positively charged, always positively charged. Whereas if you consider secondary valency along with the, I can say, coordination entity, I can call it as coordination entity along with the ligands, is said to be either negatively charged or neutral in nature, is negatively charged or it will be neutral, negatively charged or is neutral in nature. Okay, so this is all about the third postulate. I hope Werner's theory is going to be followed for you all. What is the first postulate given by Werner's theory? It is that all coordination compounds generally possesses primary valency and secondary valency. Primary valency is nothing but the ions which we write outside the coordination sphere. They are also called as counter ions. Okay, how to write them? When we are moving or when we are approaching the coordination compound, first comes that is primary valency. Then comes that is said to be secondary valency. Primary valency is ionizable, secondary valency is non-ionizable. Secondary valency is always possessed by negatively charged or they are neutral in nature. Whereas primary valency will be always positively charged was given by third postulate of Werner. Please do copy this. We'll move to next. Coming back to the next part, we have to understand regarding the valencies itself, which is considered to be a fourth postulate given by Werner's theory. So when you consider particularly primary valency, it is going to be considered as an oxidation state of central metal atom, and primary valency are interdependent. They are correspond to each other. I mention here fourth point, that is fourth postulate of Werner's theory is that the primary valency is correspond to that of oxidation state of central metal atom. Okay, so I'll give you the example here. I have taken the same, that is K4 FeCN6. I have taken here. If you ionize this one, it will be showing us K plus 4, and if you ionize, after ionize, it will be getting minus 4. That means Fe's oxidation state and counter ions oxidation state are correspond to each other. They are dependent to each other. This point was explained in the fourth postulate of Werner's theory. Okay. Likewise, they are giving you one more point, that is Werner is giving one more point with regards to secondary valency. What is that? Secondary valency is nothing but it is directly the coordination number. Let us understand what you mean by that one. Okay, secondary valency is nothing but its coordination number of valency is secondary. Let me write in detail. Secondary valency is coordination number of that coordination compound, Okay, so how does this let us understand. I have written this example here. Okay, here I have written CN6. The same I will be writing CN6. Here I can consider there are 6 CN molecules are present. Okay, these 6 CN cyanide groups are going to donate a pair of electron. Each CN will be donating pair of electron to the central metal atom. Okay, so when it donates electron, it will be going to form 6 coordinate bond. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 coordinate bonds are going to be formed by CN cyanide group. So that itself, that is a secondary valency which is considered as a ligand itself, is a coordination number for that coordination compound. Here you can see that CN are 6 in number. There are 6 cyanide groups are present, or 6 cyanide compound CN group is present. 6 in the sense, if you consider this whole example, coordination number for this whole complex, coordination number for this example, it is 6 itself. Okay, when this cyanide is considered to be a neutral ligand here, we may also have certain charged ligands also, positively charged, negatively charged ligands also have. Sometimes they will be donating more than 2 pair electrons to the central metal atom. Here it shows that see, Fe is present. There are Cn6 are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Cn are there. Each Cn is providing 2 electrons to the central metal atom. Okay, because it is neutral. Cn negatively charged. Sorry, it is Cn minus. It is donating 6 electrons. Okay, if at all we have other example like the same, let me consider, but let us consider nickel complex. Nickel is having NH3. Okay, NH3 4 it will be having. This is the complex I have here. Any counter ion we can consider. As we are interested in secondary valency, there are 4 NH3R, that is ammonia molecule R, donating their electrons to the central metal atom. So I could write here that this is Ni. There are 4 NH3R donating electrons to the central metal atom. It indicates that the coordination number for this compound is 4 itself. Coordination number for this compound is 4 itself, where exclusively we consider secondary valency. Secondary valency of coordination compound is itself considered as coordination number for that compound. In this case, coordination number is 6, and in this case, the coordination number will be 4. This was given by Werner's in case of fourth postulate. And one more thing he has also explained, that is primary valency is variable. Whatever the counter ions we write here we may consider any of the counter ions like Cl and so on. These primary valency which are present here are variable in nature. They are variable in nature. We can vary them. We can take in different moles. Here I have taken K4. Here I can consider K2. Here only Cl is there. I can consider 2 and more Cl also. That indicates primary valency is always variable. And we all know the ligands which are present inside the coordination sphere are said to be secondary valency, and secondary valency is always fixed. We cannot alter the secondary valency. I could write here according to this one that primary valency is variable. Primary valency is variable, whereas secondary valency must be fixed. It is ಇಲ್ಲಿ CN6 ತಗೊಂಡಿರಂದ್ರೆ compulsory CN6 ಇರಬೇಕು. Here if you consider NH34, it must be NH34 itself, because they are closely binded to the central metal atom with the help of coordinate bond. We cannot change them. Whereas counter ions are present just with the force of attraction, we can change them. We can alter their valency. We can add counter ions or we can remove the counter ions. But the same doesn't happen with the secondary valency. So primary valency is variable. Secondary valency is non-variable or invariable. It is not variable. So this is all about the valency, fifth postulate of Werner's. He has given one more point here, that primary valency is non-directional. I must mention here. Next point, that let me write in detail in a neat manner. These examples will be somehow kitch. So I will take the next part. Fifth part, this is all together fourth one I have written, and this is all together it is fifth one, that is primary valency is variable. Primary valency is variable. Okay, whereas secondary valency is not variable. I explained with an example. Hope you have taken that one. Otherwise, pause the video. You can write and you can take these points. Next point, he has explained that primary valency is non-directional. Primary valency is non-directional. Okay. Why does it is not directional? What exactly the meaning of directional, non-directional? Let us understand here. Whenever you consider any D block element having D subshells, it will be having a vacant place. Whenever there is a vacant place is present, electron can be added to that. When electrons are added, they will be rotating in an atom with a fixed direction. Okay, if the orbital in which electron is present, that is spherical. If it is present in a s orbital, the direction is spherical and it is directionless. S orbital is directionless, non-directional. If you consider p orbital, definitely dumbbell shape. Likewise, whatever the ligands are present with that of the central metal atom, based on number of electrons provided, we can conclude a shape of that coordination compound. Okay, but in case of counter ions, generally there will be no presence of d subshells, and likewise they do not show any directions. Directions in the sense rotation or movement of electrons in a fixed path will not be entertained by primary valency. But the thing is, secondary valency is directional because number of ligands are donating to the central metal atom. Central metal atom will be having d subshells. Definitely there will be a shape for d subshells. Double dumbbell shape. dxy, dyz, dxz and dz square all are present, due to which we will be seeing some of the direction of movement of electrons that lastly concludes different geometry and the shape of that molecule. I hope this is understood to you. Fine. So primary valency is non-directional. Okay. Secondary valency is directional in nature. So I make these things still clear for you all. See, as I told you, FeCN6. Okay, there are 6 ligands donating their electrons to the iron Fe. So I could write this structure as Fe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 ligands are present here. Whenever we consider 6 ligands are donating to the central metal atom, such type is going to be considered as coordination number 6. Then it is said to be octahedral. We can call it as octahedral geometry. Octahedral. Can you see this one? This is upper side, below side we have CN and we have 2 cyanides at the other side. So it is said to be octahedral in nature. Likewise, we also have certain other examples like Ni, NH, NH3, 4, wherein you can see here that there are 4 ligands are bonded here. These 4 ligands can be written like this, or these can also be written like this, or this can also be written with a minimum repulsion structure. We can write like this. Okay. So when this is the case, we can see here that its coordination number is 4. NH3 secondary valency is 4 here. So coordination number is also 4. Okay. So that I can write 4NH3 at the 4 corners. 4NH3 will be present at the 4 corners. Okay. So the reason why such compounds will be showing tetrahedral geometry. Coordination number 4 compounds will be showing tetrahedral geometry. So this is all about the things which were well explained by Werner's. So these all are considered as postulates for Werner's theory. This was the last postulate which was given by Werner, that is primary valency is non-directional, secondary valency is directional. And likewise we have taken the examples also. If 6 ligands are donating, then it will be showing coordination number as 6 and the compounds will be showing octahedral geometry. Likewise, if you consider nickel NH3 4, there are 4 ligands are donating to the central metal atom, and the reason why we will be tetra in the sense 4, octa in the sense 6. This is coordination number 4 will be showing tetrahedral geometry. So all these are explained by postulates of Werner's. Please copy this. We'll move to next.